Marcus Bennett almost didn't open the envelope. It sat on his kitchen counter for 2 days, wedged between a stack of unpaid bills and his daughter's school permission slip, and when he finally tore it open, he laughed out loud, a short, bitter laugh that had no humor in it at all. It was an invitation to the Prescott Industries Leadership Gala, the most exclusive corporate event of the year, and his name was on it in gold-embossed letters. Marcus Bennett. A warehouse floor supervisor who hadn't worn a tie in 3 years, who raised his 6-year-old daughter alone after losing his wife, who counted quarters some mornings just to afford the bus fare to work. He assumed it was a mistake. He never imagined it was a joke that was about to change everything. What Marcus didn't know was that the invitation wasn't a clerical error at all. It had been sent deliberately, as a cruel prank cooked up by a group of executives who thought it would be entertaining to watch a blue-collar worker squirm at a black-tie event full of millionaires. They imagined him showing up in the wrong clothes, saying the wrong things, becoming the punchline of the evening. What they didn't count on was Vanessa, the CEO of Prescott Industries. A woman who had clawed her way to the top of a company that once dismissed her, who understood better than anyone what it felt like to be underestimated, mocked, and written off before she ever had the chance to speak. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in stories where the underestimated rise, take a moment right now to like this video, drop a comment telling us where you're watching from, share it with someone who needs a little hope today, and subscribe to Kindness Corner so you never miss a story like this one. Now, let's continue. Marcus almost didn't go. He stood in front of his closet the night of the gala, staring at the one gray suit he owned, the same one he wore to his wife's funeral 3 years earlier, and felt his chest tighten with humiliation before he even left the house. His daughter, Naomi, sat on his bed swinging her legs, asking if he was going to a party like in the movies. He forced a smile for her sake. He told her yes. He didn't tell her that every fiber in his body wanted to stay home instead. When he arrived at the gala, the marble lobby glittering with chandeliers and champagne towers, he felt every eye turn toward him. Not with curiosity, but with quiet, cutting judgment. Whispers followed him like a shadow. Someone snickered near the coat check. A woman in a sequined gown looked him up and down and turned away as if he were something to be swept off the floor. Marcus kept his shoulders straight and his head high, though inside, memories of every rejection, every eviction notice, every night he'd gone without dinner so Naomi could eat, came rushing back all at once. He found his assigned seat and nearly turned around and left when he saw the name card placed beside the CEO's own chair. Marcus Bennett, right next to Vanessa. He assumed it was another cruel twist of the joke, a final humiliation before the punchline landed. But when Vanessa arrived and saw him standing there, uncertain and stiff with tension, she did something no one expected. She smiled, genuinely, warmly, and pulled out the chair beside her own, gesturing for him to sit as if he were the guest of honor she had been waiting for all evening. The room went silent. Conversations halted mid-sentence. The executives who had orchestrated the prank exchanged nervous glances, their smug smiles faltering. Vanessa turned to Marcus and asked him, in front of everyone, to tell her about his work at the warehouse, not with condescension, but with real interest, the kind reserved for people whose opinions actually mattered. Marcus, stunned, began to speak. He talked about efficiency problems he'd noticed on the floor for years, ideas nobody in management had ever bothered to ask him about, solutions born not from an MBA but from thousands of hours actually doing the work. Vanessa listened intently, nodding, asking follow-up questions, occasionally glancing toward the executives who had planned this entire humiliating stunt. One by one, the men who had orchestrated the joke began making excuses to leave the table. They claimed sudden phone calls, urgent meetings, headaches that needed fresh air. But everyone in that ballroom understood the real reason. They couldn't stand watching the man they mocked being treated as an equal, being treated as someone worth listening to, someone worth respecting. As each of them slipped away, Vanessa's expression never wavered. If anything, she seemed almost satisfied, as though she had been waiting years for a moment exactly like this one, a chance to remind her own company what true leadership actually looked like. Later that night, after the gala had wound down and most of the guests had gone home, Vanessa found Marcus near the exit, quietly slipping on his coat, ready to disappear back into the anonymity he'd lived in for years. She stopped him and told him something he would never forget. She said that 15 years ago, before she became CEO, she had been a struggling single mother herself, cleaning offices at night just to afford daycare during the day, and that a stranger's small act of kindness, someone believing in her when no one else did, had changed the entire trajectory of her life. She told Marcus that she recognized something in him that night. Not pity. Not charity. Potential. Within a month, Marcus was promoted to a newly created position, Operations Innovation Lead, with a salary that finally let him move Naomi out of their cramped apartment and into a small home with a backyard, something he had promised her since the day her mother passed. The executives who mocked him quietly resigned or were reassigned once their pattern of behavior came to light. And Marcus, the man who once believed an invitation was nothing but a cruel mistake, became one of the most respected voices in the entire company, not because someone gave him a handout, but because someone finally gave him a chance to be seen. If this story touched your heart even a little, if it reminded you that kindness can change the course of someone's entire life, please take a moment to like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Your support means more than you know, and it helps stories like this reach the people who need them most. Before we go, we'd love to hear from you. If you've ever felt overlooked, underestimated, or judged before anyone gave you a real chance, drop a comment below and let us know. Your voice matters, and someone reading it might need those words today more than you realize. Marcus Bennett never asked to be anyone's inspiration. He simply asked for a chance, the same chance every hard-working parent, every overlooked employee, every quietly struggling soul deserves. And sometimes, all it takes is one person willing to pull out a chair, look someone in the eye, and say, "You belong here," to change absolutely everything.